Enix is one of my all-time favorite video game developers and publishers, and I don't know, within the last several years, they introduced a new kind of genre to the whole RPG genre itself, kind of a subgenre, with the HD 2D art style when they came out with Octopath Traveler. And that has become a very popular art style within the RPG community. And Square Enix just put out one of their very first full HD 2D style action RPGs in the form of the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales. And I, Metro Otaku Gamer here, who is a huge fan of action RPGs, am here to share my thoughts on the Adventures of Elliot. This is a game that I'm currently playing right now, and I feel like it deserves its own video where I'm just sharing my initial thoughts on it. I'm about several hours into the game, and I am absolutely loving it. It's personally might end up being my favorite game of this year. Who knows? Because right now, Pragmata from Capcom is really high up there. So, if you guys like Square Enix and action RPGs, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and especially if you enjoy this video. I am Mecha Otaku Gamer, and here are my thoughts on the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales. I really want to give a huge shout out to the artists of this game. I really like the cover art. Even though it has that white background, it could be a little bit better if it had a bit more color to it, but you get to see the main characters, which is Elliot, and then you have his little fairy companion named Faye, and then you have Princess Hyria, who plays a major role in the game. Now, the best way I could describe the Adventures of Elliot, it's kind of a mix between Chrono Trigger, because it has that time travel aspect, as well as classic top-down 2D Zelda. Now, in the game, you don't really level up like you do in other RPGs. You can level up your health by finding items throughout the entire world called Shards of Life, which is kind of akin to the heart pieces in the Legend of Zelda series. It also has kind of a Secret of Mana-esque feel to it as well, it being a top-down pixel-style action RPG. And I know a lot of people love Secret of Mana, and they also love Chrono Trigger, so that could potentially be a huge draw to this game. It definitely was for me, because I love action RPGs, I love Square Enix. I'm really digging this HD 2D art style. Now, technically, it isn't really the first action RPG from Square Enix in the style. You could technically consider Star Ocean: The Second Story R as HD 2D, but it's more HD 2D with 3D backgrounds. This is more like Octopath Traveler's HD 2D style. And man, I'm blown away. Now, this game was announced, I want to say sometime late last year, and it was well worth the wait for this. I am so glad I was able to pick it up day one. I pre-ordered it from my local GameStop when pre-orders opened up, and I am definitely going to attempt to get the platinum in this game. And I've never gotten a platinum in an RPG on PlayStation, but there's just so many things about this game that makes me want to experience all of it. All the side quests that are enjoyable, exploration is enjoyable, you can discover all sorts of new things that are off the beaten path. I really enjoy the combat, even though it's very simple. There are different weapons that Elliot is able to obtain, from a sword to a chain and sickle, a hammer, a bow, bombs, a spear, and even a boomerang. and you can upgrade them all via Magicite. So you are able to find Magicite fragments that you then take to a certain dealer who is able to synthesize Magicite for you. And Magicite will help increase the stats of your weapons, like upping the attack, or for like the sword, you can have it have a wider slashing effect. For the spear, you can have it like split off into 3 different directions when you attack, or you can speed up the charge time, because there are charge attacks for each of the different weapons. There's also different effects you can add to like the bombs to make them like fire bombs or ice bombs. Same with the arrows, like you can have like an effect where the arrow could be like a flaming arrow on occasion, or you can up the critical rate. There's all sorts of different things that the Magicite is useful for, and the Magicite, every time you synthesize it, your form will rank up all the way up to, I want to say, like rank 10, which is the highest, and then you can synthesize top tier Magicite, so that's a lot of fun. And every time you beat a boss in the game, you get like a metric crap ton of the Magicite fragments. And what's cool is that once you obtain Faye as your little companion, she is able to also be used offensively in the game. Like you can control her with the right thumbstick if you're playing on PlayStation 5 or any other console, able to move her around, and she's able to have access to different types of magic. Starting off, you get like you get fire magic, so you just set Faye on fire and have her light enemies up on fire, or use it to light torches that can unlock new paths for you and help you solve puzzles. There's also magic that she can obtain to allow you to go super fast, so you can sprint through the different areas, but be careful. If you slam into a wall, you're going to stop and have to restart all over. And what's really cool is that there's like these little mini games attached to all the different magic abilities that Faye has, where you can practice those skills, obtain high scores, and unlock music tracks. And there's like trophies attached to that, so if you want to 100% the game, you're going to have to like master all the different mini games tied to Faye's magic, which is a lot of fun in my opinion. I'm not really too one for mini games and RPGs, but I played one of them several times just to try and get all of the different music tracks that you unlock through that, as well as get the highest score possible, and it was a lot of fun. And that's all I could really say about the Adventures of Elliot, is that so far it is a lot of fun. Story-wise, it's very intriguing. You play as Elliot, who is an adventurer in the land of Philadelphia. It sounds like Philadelphia, but it's not. And he is from the kingdom of Huther, which is being protected by Princess Huria's safekeeping magic. And it's set in the age of safekeeping, because there are beastmen that roam the lands, and the beastmen are not liking the humans whatsoever. There was some kind of conflict that probably caused them to not be friendly towards humans, so there's all these different adventurers that go out and like explore ruins and fight off against the beasts and all that, while trying to protect the kingdom of Uther. And Elliot is sent on a quest to explore these unknown ruins, and he ends up coming across this doorway through time that will allow him to travel through to different eras in time, from all the way to hundreds of years in the past to in the future. And he is trying to stop this Minister Kyfried from obtaining ultimate power and causing a lot of chaos throughout time, and trying to rewrite history to where he becomes like the overall ruler of everything, and it's a very intriguing story. I feel like they did the whole time traveling thing perfectly. Time travel in fiction kind of tends to be hit and miss for me. I'm a huge fan of Eureka 7, which introduced a time travel in that franchise at some point, and it confused the living crap out of me. But I feel like with Adventures of Elliot, they did the whole time traveling thing perfect. You get to meet all sorts of different people throughout time. And another really cool aspect that I really like about this game is that you can collect cats. Yes, at some point in the game, you come across this traveler who will task you with collecting upwards to about 50 cats that have been spread out throughout the entire game, throughout all the different eras that you get to explore. There are these cats, and these cats are very crucial if you want to get the true ending. This is a game that has multiple endings to it. There's a good ending, which is just like your normal ending. You go through the story and you beat the final boss and everything's good. And then there's like the bad ending that you get if you do certain things while fighting the final boss and things do not go as planned. And then you wind up with the bad ending. And then there's the true ending, which adds a whole bunch of hours to the gameplay, all sorts of different quest lines that you have to go through in order to obtain the true ending. And from what I hear, the true ending is 100% worth it. And that's what I'm going to try and do, is I'm going to try to obtain the true ending in this game. Because if it's going to be that of an emotional high, then I feel like it's going to be well worth it. And overall, I highly recommend The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales. This is a standout gem of this year. Square Enix knocked it out of the park with another great, awesome HD 2D style JRPG. And if you are a huge fan of like classic Zelda, then you are definitely going to like this game. Especially since it does feel more like a classic top-down Zelda, but it does have that RPG flair to it with the character progression, the different stats that you can boost, all the different magic skills that you can acquire, and all that. And I hope that this becomes a full series. Would love to see a sequel to The Adventures of Elliot, because I feel like that they could potentially open this up to be a franchise, and that's would be awesome, because this is another new IP coming out in 2026. It is absolutely crazy that these big game developers are willing to risk it with new IPs again, and I am here for it. Capcom knocked it out of the park with Prabata, and I feel like Square Enix is knocking it out of the park with this game. And that's pretty much all that I want to share on The Adventures of Elliot. I'm not too far into the game. It is a pretty short RPG. You could beat it in about 30 hours. Probably roughly closer to 40 or 50 if you want to do all of the exploration as well as get the true ending, which, like I said, requires a lot more to obtain that true ending. And yeah, I am loving this game, and I will let you guys know in a future video. Once I beat this game, it will probably appear again in like the backlog beatdown, and I'll let you guys know if this game tops Pragmata or not. So you're gonna have to stay tuned for that. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts on The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales so far. It's a really great game. I'm glad I got invested in it, and I hope you guys will enjoy this game as well. Let me know down below in the comment section if you plan to pick up The Adventures of Elliot, or if you are already playing it, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. And with that, I'm Mecha Otaku Gamer, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.